Welcome to the new episode of the CAP Podcast, Consumer Ammunition Tactics Podcast. I got a special guest in the building. I got Deprecia Sutter. I'm gonna read her bio. We're gonna get straight into it. So she says that her goal is to break generational curses while creating generational wealth through simple education that's not taught in schools. She's a wealth educator who aids people in having negative items removed off of their credit reports, building and establishing excellent credit so they could buy homes, vehicles, etc. Her main line is she does not care if you played a game with or without a coach. You just have to play. There's a lot of exclamation points. Doing nothing gets you nowhere. Welcome to the podcast, Deprecia. How you feeling?
I'm feeling awesome. How are you doing
Good,
today?
good, good. I'm blessed. I'm blessed, highly favored, the
Love
whole
it.
nine. Yeah, definitely, definitely. So I want to start off just by talking about how you actually got into the credit game. If you want to give us a little bit of background, did you grow up talking about credit? Is it something you discovered on your own? You know what I'm saying? Let's get into that.
No, actually, so my name's Deprecia Sutter. I'm born and
Yeah.
raised in Oklahoma City. To be honest, never thought that this would be something I would be even interested in. My
Okay.
background was I have a Bachelor of Science in kinesiology. I wanted to be in the medical field, and I was just going further and further in school. But honestly, I had what we would say is a great paying job. And
Mm.
what happened is I did not know how to manage money. I lived paycheck to paycheck, and everybody always told me pretty much shut up because I was making more than them. So
Oh man.
I realized just because I want more, I can have more, and I shouldn't allow people to speak their limitations on me. So this
Amen.
opportunity came around to me. I have a mentor that, really taught me the game. But when the opportunity came to me, what made me have so much of a wealth of knowledge is because I dug and dug because I needed it. It wasn't everybody else first. I needed it. And once you learn and you could teach it, it's a whole nother ball game.
Definitely.
So yeah.
Definitely. Okay, definitely, definitely. I know one big thing that we talked about was the fact that a lot of people they don't think about the fact of just the simple things like budgeting, like the
Mhm.
basics. Because some people they'll fix their credit and then they're gonna mess it up again because they don't keep up with the fact of, oh, I shouldn't continue getting late
Mhm.
payments. I shouldn't budget. Can we talk about the importance of budgeting and things like that when it comes to credit repair?
So one thing about credit repair is no matter if you get everything deleted, credit repair is two portions. It's the litigation, so getting things removed off the credit report, but it's also building. But what I feel like people tend to kind of forget is if you don't actively make a budget, pay down your debt, keep your utilization down, you're going to be in the same place you was 6 months ago.
Or
So
worse?
once you get all right, so once you get all those items removed, why did you get there? Was it because you made a late payment? Was it because the car got repo? Was it because you didn't have enough money? And enough money comes to budgeting. And budgeting, it seems like an easy word, right? But if it
Yeah.
was that easy, why is there so many people in debt?
Mm,
Why is there so many
facts.
people in debt if it's that easy? So my goal is to make you fall in love with that ugly word budgeting
Oh
because
man.
at the end of the day, what is going to come out of it? You're going to learn you're overspending or you're not making enough. And what comes after that? Action.
Mm,
So once you create that action, then you don't fall in that rabbit hole of, okay, I popped a tire. Now I can't pay off this credit card. Now I can't send money to my kids for lunch. Like you don't have to keep on going through that cycle if you actually create a plan. So
definitely.
saving, here's a statistic, and I hope everybody bow for this to not be them.
All right.
It is predicted that there are 64% of Americans are going to retire with less than $10,000 in their retirement savings. It's crazy,
Crazy.
right?
Yeah.
You okay with living with $10,000 once you retire?
All right, man. Nah.
That's why so many people after they retire, they're going straight back to work.
That's
So once you say that's not me, once you say I'm not going to be that person looking rich today to be broke tomorrow,
Mhm.
then once again, me, you can actually make a plan. So once you get the results you want, you're still on track to continue to reach all your goals and you don't fall behind. Or at least you know what
Definitely.
to do if you do fall behind.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So one thing I'm noticing just about, the way you talk and stuff, I feel like you got a really good mindset. So I don't know like where you was it like from mentors and stuff like that? Because I always like to say that the person that believes that they can't do something, the person that believes that they can do something, both people are correct. You know what I'm saying? So it's about how you think about it. So are there like different books? Was it mentorship? How'd you get the mindset that you have?
I would say number one, like, where I grew up, like my parents,
Okay.
I'm a firm believer that your parents' ceiling should be your floor. And you look around yourself, and if you want more for you, but you want more for your family. And so with me, like, I didn't say this in the beginning, but how I really, really got into it had nothing to do with the money. It simply
Mm,
had to do because I didn't have the time to be there with my ill mom. So like if you see her health is so up and down, but at the end of the day, when it's down, it's bad. So she had a stroke, she couldn't walk, she couldn't talk, she couldn't move.
oh wow.
I could not be there with my mom because of work. And so as I dug, once again, I told you I dug for me to learn for me, but also to have that freedom to be with my family with those important moments, I started getting pissed off.
Hmm.
So I really hate saying this, but I feel like that's where my energy comes from. It's
Hmm.
because the more mad I got and start realizing the world's a business. So at the end of the day, you're gonna be a winning side or losing side. But
Yeah.
ultimately, like we have all the resources to succeed. It's just no one's educating us, no one's showing us. So the more I got pissed off that you guys can do it, you guys definitely have it. It made me more passionate about it. And then on top
Mm,
of that, like I had 24, 22, 24, yeah, negative items on my credit when I first started my credit journey.
yeah.
Every client I've had, I have less than 5 thus far. So it's only four people so far that had more than me. And
Mm,
all of my negative items came as a child. So that
wow.
is who's being attacked is the youth. So
Yeah.
outside of, yes, I work with adults all the time, but I do educate at the library too and talk to the kids because I don't want them to mess up and let the world really take advantage of them. So right when they get out in the world, they're already, screwed from the beginning. So
Gotcha.
mentorship definitely was a big part, but I think for me, it was just me getting upset. And I'm not a mom, but I'm so motherly, and I just want to save everybody.
I feel that. Mm, I feel that. You say you educate at the libraries? Where are you educating at?
So the
Like local
downtown
libraries or
library.
something?
So once a month,
Okay.
I alternate. So 1 month is actually talk to adults about, the home buying process. And sometimes I get a realtor to walk in and stuff to kind of give, more of an insight of it and talk about
Gotcha.
budgeting, saving, kind of what you need to do. Because ultimately, yes, you need to build your score up, but are you going to have money for that down payment?
Yeah.
Do you know what resources are out there and what do you need to do?
Hmm.
And so we kind of talk about that. We talk about credit cards and,
Hmm.
I won't say cons to it, but just like the knowledge that's not taught to us when it comes to credit cards.
Yeah.
And then the kids really just what's going to happen when you step foot into college? There's going to be a bank over here, a bank over here. Oh, you want a debit card? You want a credit card? So really just like what you're going to see and what you need to do so you're not that person drowning in student loans once you leave.
So you don't get finessed, basically. Okay, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I feel that. I feel that. So one thing I was thinking about too is I know there's a common misconception. People think like, oh, if you're a high income earner, then you should be able to budget well. But I know that let's say someone has like they make like $500,000 a year versus
Uh-huh.
someone that knows how to manage their $50,000. Do you deal with high income and low income people and you're seeing some of the same factors going on?
In a sense, I won't say people are people, so I won't say
Yeah.
someone with more money is not
Okay.
struggling versus somebody that has less than what they have. Because at the end
Definitely.
of the day, what's the opposite of rich? I want you to answer that question for me. What's the opposite of rich?
The opposite of rich. Is there a trick question?
Kind of, but
'Cause
just
the
answer and just answer it. Just how if someone said, "What's the opposite of rich?" What you gonna say? Come on, stop thinking.
passing over opportunities repeatedly. Poor.
I actually disagree with you.
What is
The
it?
opposite of rich
Is it
isn't poor;
broke?
it's mismanagement of money.
Okay, that's what's up.
So
Okay.
when we
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about the
I
two
get what you're saying.
income earners, yeah. So when we talk about the two
Yeah.
income earners, you can make so much and have everything and not have extra money to invest. You not have extra money for rainy days because when it comes to budgeting, the main thing you need to do with budgeting is create a deficit because
Hmm.
most people don't have a savings account and we know it's going to rain. Are you going to have an umbrella for it? You may pop a tire. Are you going to have money on the side? So when those things happen, you're fine because what happens is you create a budget for you. So all my mothers, fathers out there, are you creating a budget just for you, or are you putting money on the side when your child wants some money for school?
Mm,
So
yeah,
money just flies away. So I don't really say
definitely.
the two sides mean something. You know, the only difference, they probably have more just because they're the job they chose or the business they have. But I guarantee you, the more money you make, the more you spend.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I always tell people like it's more so about like managing the amount of money you have. Because
Mm-hmm.
like back when I was young, when I graduated college, I
Yeah.
paid off my student loans within 1 year, and a lot of people were asking me how I did it. And I know part of it was I had a six-figure job based off of my chemical engineering job, but at the end of the day, I was still able to, manage my money. So that's why, I wanted to kind of see it. And it seems like what you're saying is, we're resonating as far as some of the high income earners, they have budgeting problems as well. So, it's just
And
people.
sometimes it's just having a system. So like, like once again, I've dug, but I do have tools. You know, I have services and stuff
Gotcha.
to help clients. So we have a debt payoff tool. So I have a client, how much? $32,000 in student loans. It was going to take them 6 years to pay it off. And once we actually plugged in numbers, like, hey, if you pay just the extra $10, the extra $20, or actually started making those payments, they were
Yeah,
able to get their student loans down $10,000 less, $22,000, and it's going to be paid off within 2 years.
that's crazy. I think I actually had 32,000 something, to be
Yeah,
honest.
it's
Yeah,
them
so that's crazy.
sneaky rates, them
Yeah,
interest
yeah, yeah.
rates.
It's sneaky. It's very, very sneaky. Yeah, no,
Uh-huh.
most definitely. Most definitely. So let's say, just for the listeners, let's say that I'm somebody, my budgeting is trash. How do I even get in contact to work with you? And what does that even look like?
So I am on. I'm on a few platforms. I'm on LinkedIn,
Okay.
Facebook, and also Instagram and TikTok. My TikTok's blowing up, by the way.
Okay, that's
But
what's up. Follow her on TikTok.
my business name is Preview to Wealth.
Hmm.
Preview to Wealth, Wealth. And once you contact me, we'll go over a little consultation, go over a game plan. Really, first we talk about credit, and then from there, why are you there? We do have tools to help businesses. We have tools to help protect your family, your assets, giving you a will, trust, power of attorney, stuff like that. And so what happens is once you're enrolled with us, it takes about 5 minutes. It doesn't take long at all to enroll. I have a team that will actually go through all the services with you, but I'm also
Gotcha.
that personal assistant that you could contact. I pretty much keep myself available for my clients. There's times like obviously we'll have to schedule a time and we'll
Yeah.
just do weekly Zooms and really, let me not say weekly Zooms. I give you weekly education on different
Okay.
platforms. And then from monthly, we'll get on and just track a game plan and kind of see where you're at, just so you don't fall
Gotcha.
behind. Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha. So you do credit repair as well, or no?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is it like a package thing, or how does
Yeah.
it's a case by
Yeah.
case
So in
situation?
total, it's pretty much a financial suite. So
Gotcha.
credit, most of my clients come for credit. 90% come for credit. And then
All
you
right, let's
get
talk about
on.
credit then. We talk about the
Yeah.
bag today. We got to get you more clients too.
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
they
So
come to you
they
for
they
credit.
come for credit, but then they
Yeah.
get on, and then remember I told you, then we start talking about what is the problem? Is it budgeting? Is it saving? Most clients have issues with budgeting. Number one, budgeting,
Mm,
savings.
gotcha.
We do have tools to actually educate you on credit. I do the extra and kind of make little videos and stuff to kind of, I hate to say, let's say this, pretty much make it simple so you
Okay.
understand it because it's still foreign
Yeah.
language.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so then I'll do different things so they actually understand. But we do have tools to educate them on the 5 factors of credit, quiz them so they understand where they're at. We have credit builders, and then just a lot of things to pretty much protect their financial wealth as a whole. And then they
Gotcha.
have attorneys as well, if depending on what's going on, if they got eviction and stuff, that they could contact to actually help fight them for that. So I'm partnered with attorneys, and also I have customer service that I have to help me because I can't just be a one man show.
Yeah. 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 One woman show. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel that. Okay. So what is like let's say I enroll now,
Uh-huh.
is it like a 6 month, 12 month? Is it kind of like credit repair? Kind of depends, or how long does someone in your program?
It definitely depends. Obviously, you
Okay.
can have results within 30 to 45 days, but me and you both know a lot of times it's a lot of updates.
Yeah,
But to
definitely.
me, I want to celebrate those wins because at the end of the day, nobody's updating it if there's not a letter sent, right? And
Definitely.
so from there, I always say the best results normally come around 3 rounds, but we pretty much have a 10-month game plan.
Okay.
The average clients stay on about 6, 7 months. but we do have a
Gotcha.
10-month game plan. So you are literally on track with your financial wealth as a whole and not just credit.
Gotcha.
Even
That
have
makes
tools to
sense.
help you leverage it. So if you want business funding, if you're trying to refinance your auto loan, your student loans, you really are able to come to one place for it instead of going to a bank. This person, here,
Yeah, yeah,
here,
definitely,
everything's in one. And it all just
definitely.
depends on what you want to actually use. You can use it all or just one, two things, whatever. But ultimately, when it comes to organizing your finances, that's where it starts.
Okay, definitely, definitely. I want to talk about basically, it sounds like, you got a whole system and everything going on, which is good. I know we got a lot of credit repair business owners
Uh-huh.
listening, as well as people that want to fix their own credit. So I wanted to
Uh-huh.
talk about like what's been working so far within your own business just to help other credit repair business owners.
So what's helped me is two things. Those seeking leads, go find people who have your leads. Partner with realtors, partner
Mm,
with mortgage lenders. We are not against each other. We are all trying to help as a whole.
hmm.
Because ultimately, if everybody was together, we could do so much more. We could save the clients money. It's not
Definitely.
like we're just pushing to get a quick buy, because at the end of the day, that quick buy, somebody's losing. Regardless if you've got that quick income, somebody's losing. So partner with people who genuinely care and really want to help the people in the community, so you guys can give a wealth of knowledge than just what you have alone, right?
Yeah,
And then so real quick, you go faster alone, but you go further together. So definitely
definitely,
want to go further together. Another thing I say is leverage social media. Don't stop.
definitely.
For me personally, I only give my opinion. Be yourself. My TikTok, honestly, I'm always around my family. One thing people see is me and my family, family, family. And I felt like I was such a perfectionist that I wanted to delete all those and just give education. But then it
Oh, they
got
got
to
to
a
see a
point
real
that
person.
people, but that's what happened. I
Yeah.
had someone call me and they was like, I did a consultation with you because I felt like you're real because you're a mom. And I'm like, oh
Yeah.
girl, I'm not a mom. I'm the best auntie in the world, because they seen kids on my stuff. But it was able
Oh,
to,
okay, got you.
it allowed me to break the ice and for us to have actual genuine conversation, than them feeling like they're calling I'm still big business, but calling, like when you call the airport, like it's a whole different conversation. You ain't joking with that
Yeah,
person on the phone. Like I
yeah,
want you to be comfortable enough to actually have a conversation with me and trust me, so we can actually dig down to what the actual problem is. Because I'm going back to credit cards. A lot of times people think this is the biggest misperception. If you have a credit card, does not mean your credit is going to build just by having a credit card. So a lot of people think, okay, well, I got a credit card, I maxed it out, my credit is building. But no, there's actually things you need to do. You need to keep your utilization down. If you max it out, paying it before it's reported, so you
mhm,
can actually, number one, get points, because who doesn't want points and cash back? But also
yeah,
to so you can continue to build your score as well. So that's where, to me, the lack of education is, but talking about what the problem is so we could fix it. Because a lot of times they don't know they're the ones hurting their credit outside of like what we're disputing.
exactly, exactly. Okay, so collaborate with people and
Mm-hmm.
leverage social media.
Got to.
Okay, what's your favorite social media that's been working for you so far?
um, so I was saying Facebook, but I actually say TikTok now.
TikTok.
TikTok. So I have a link tree, and my link tree has pretty much all my information. I have resources, stuff like that on there.
Mhm.
And Linktree actually told me where all my people are coming from, and more than
Yeah.
50% was TikTok. And it
Mm.
blew my mind when I seen that. I'm like, what? What?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But just it's and where it starts to just being consistent. Because it's not like, I
Definitely.
mean, I feel like I blew up overnight, but it wasn't an overnight process. I was just
Mm.
posting. Like that's
Mm.
one thing I will always say about me. I am consistent. And if
Mm.
you're not, write something down and schedule it. Because everything, I don't know
Definitely.
about TikTok, but I know all the other social media platforms you can schedule. You can schedule and just allow that to continuously allow people to see your face. That's you want people to see your face. You want people to see what you're doing. You want people to see the value and how you're helping people. And
Hmm.
then the leads are just going to come. They're just going
Definitely.
to come automatically. No one cares what you do until they know how much you care.
Mm. That's a bar. That's a bar. Yeah, that's a bar.
No
That's
one
a bar.
cares.
Yeah, definitely. I like what you said too about showing your face because I always tell my mentees like credit repair comes with a lot of people saying, "Oh, scam, scam, scam." So it's like you gotta, obviously show your face so you don't appear like someone that is scamming, and then just showing you genuinely care. So that's
And
definitely
let them know that's just
important.
people still scared of money. That's what stand for.
Still confused
Still
about
scared
money.
of
Yeah,
money. That's it.
yeah, yeah. Facts, facts,
But
facts.
also, you got to think about it. If you have links and because most of the time you got information somewhere, resources is based off a link. You have people scamming on social media. That's why you
Yeah,
want people to see you are real. I could
definitely.
post memes, I could post pictures of education all day long, but if they don't know there's a face behind that, it's like, should I click this? Should I
Yeah,
trust them? So it's really giving that door open for them to trust who you are, and once again to know you care and see the value you're giving out there. I don't know how people, and let me be quiet because I really didn't even use social media like that. I mean, I did, but not how much I do now. But
yeah,
you just gotta run into it scared and you gotta fail
definitely,
forward. Just keep going,
definitely.
keep going. You're gonna hate the way you talk on camera when you first start talking, but after a while, it's just the more knowledge you know. Wait, hold on. What am I saying?
Take your
Desire
time.
plus skill equals success.
You said what? Go
So
ahead.
like
Repeat it.
desire plus skill equals
Desire
success.
plus skill equals success. Okay, I
So
like
like
that.
just keep on digging because everything you
Definitely.
know, for those who, are starting a credit repair business, for those who already have one, what happens is even if like I have a team of people that help me, but that doesn't mean I don't need to know every aspect of my business, right?
Definitely.
Because the
Yeah.
more I know, then I'll be able to help and assist even more. Everything you've ever done in life, even walking, okay? Everything new you could learn, and from there you could earn.
Definitely.
I
Facts.
feel like I got all the little slogans right now.
Hey man, keep throwing them in there.
It's
I gotta
going.
hear
But
it.
that's the thing, is just
Yeah,
continue to dig for yourself, but also for other people. Because the more you know, then I mean you just are gonna grow just automatically.
definitely, definitely. And going back to what you said about failing forward, you got to think about it. Like, let's say it takes you 100 videos before you actually get good. If you post one a day, it's gonna be over 3 months. If you
Uh-huh.
post 4 times a day, you fast track that process, right? So it's gonna be like less than a month. So the consistency part, just failing forward. I really like that. It's definitely a good point. So one thing that I wanted to talk about too, just to humanize you. We know that you're going crazy as far as the business. What's something I guess that's been like maybe a struggle lately or something that you've overcame within your business?
I feel like for me is my why. So like my
Okay.
biggest why is really just like, being able to have that time to be with my family, not miss those moments, right? And
Hmm.
so one thing I see the most, even with the people I mentor, I always say, don't let your why be the very thing that slows you down. That could be your kids, right? And what
Hmm.
happens is I love my mom. She actually works with me, and she actually does when I'm doing part-time. So we work together. But what
Oh,
happened is when I was able to give that time, it's like she didn't want me to let me go, and I had
yeah,
to let her know, like, this isn't personal, it's business. I'm gonna be
yeah.
here, but I'm still building something big for us to really have that financial freedom to be always together.
Hmm.
So really just like making sure I drown out the outside noise and really just stay connected, continue to learn, and really educate myself so I'm able to pour or fill my cup. You got to
Hmm.
be able to fill your cup to even pour into others. So
Definitely.
it does not matter. I'm human too. When people call me about a late payment, I'm like, I've done one of those before. Like I'm human
Yeah,
too. So I have to
yeah.
make sure, I'm continuously pouring my cup and educating myself to continue to pour into others. But another thing was something that was really, really hard for me and was following up. That was actually the biggest struggle in the beginning of my business. The biggest,
That's where the
the
money's at.
biggest.
Mhm.
Yeah, that is where
Yeah,
the money's at. But
yeah.
I told you I'm really big on collaboration. So my strength is social media, but my follow up was my weakness. So I really just found somebody that was amazing at follow up. And that's when I
Perfect.
learned about automatic systems. That's when I learned If you can't hire a VA or something for that
Yeah,
moment, if you got something else going on. So I leverage what's around the tools that freaking Google, you're gonna find stuff, YouTube, you're gonna find stuff. And
definitely.
so it allows me to be able to sit back a little bit. So if I feel like I'm being lazy in any sense, there's something going to make sure my business is still open.
Definitely. Definitely. Use ManyChat, the automations.
I do. I actually have it
Perfect.
off right now.
Oh,
I
really?
have it off right now because I just want to change up the sequence a
Okay,
little
the
bit.
flow.
Yeah. But yeah, but
Gotcha.
I do, but because TikTok is what's going crazy, ManyChat don't do TikTok.
Yeah, yeah, they don't. I wish they actually did. That'd be better too. Because I'll tell people
Um,
to comment, but I gotta manually go on TikTok, so it's
it's
kind of hard.
different. It's
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
different. The
yeah,
ManyChat is cool. I like ManyChat.
yeah.
But it allows you to have a conversation with the person. You can have a consultation, whatever. So when you come back, now we're going to the meat and potatoes versus just
Okay.
scratching the surface. The surface is already scratched, or just at that point, because ManyChat is really like it seems like a real person. And yes, it's you, but it's a robot talking to you.
Yeah, yeah,
You're able to come back and just see like, hey, I'm here. What's going on? Are you able to get on the phone? I'm very big
definitely,
on hopping on the phone. Let's talk.
definitely, definitely. Yeah, no, I could definitely see that. So going back to your why, you said was that something you overcame already, or that's something that you're still maneuvering?
I'll say it's not a completely overcame.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, it's more of a maneuver, but I've been able to have a conversation. So I'm not just saying my mom, for instance, but she was a big part of just me like saying like I'm leaving my job, I'm making this work because I want to be with you. It's a hard thing when you're this close to somebody and they're at their worst moment and you cannot be there at all. It doesn't feel well.
Yeah.
And so for me, just really telling people that it is not personal, it's business. That
Hmm.
is that is a line you gotta keep saying. It's not personal, it's business. It
Yeah.
really and letting them understand this is for us. Like this is not
Definitely.
just for me. This is for us. And if someone can't understand that, just figure out a way for you to take a step away and be with you and get things done. Give yourself a
Hmm.
clock in, clock out. I got to clock in. I got to clock in, clock out for my busy work. I got to clock in, clock out if my mom does want to spend time with me. So just really like what has helped me maneuver is honestly giving myself a schedule. Give myself a schedule for people.
Yeah, definitely,
Just like
definitely,
you do with your business.
most definitely. So, what would you say drives you? Would you say your mom, family? Just kind of curious, what drives you as far as everything you've been doing?
Um, I would definitely say family and I say mental health.
Okay.
Um, because I was that person that gave my life to my jobs, and I didn't realize how much life I was missing. I didn't realize how much my work was beating me up. Because what happens is I'm not against, those that have a 9 to 5. I'm not at all. But what happens is you are giving your all to build somebody else up, right? So let's say
Definitely.
if you go to canceling, let's say if you experience burnout, no matter what, who's going to reap the benefits of that job? Your boss, right?
Mm,
Versus when you have something of your own. I don't care how long it's taking you. I don't care. There's businesses that start and don't make revenue till 10 years later. But at the end of the day, when you build something for you, no matter the blood, sweat, and tears you have, who's going to end up reaping the benefits? It's you. It's you.
definitely. Yeah. You sounded like me. They gonna say like I paid you to talk like this because I be extra with it. Sometimes I talk crazy about 9 to 5 and all that. Like you gotta have your own, stuff and build. And I mean I'll say on the podcast I don't got nothing against people that have 9 to 5. I just be joking around or whatever. But yeah, no, what you're saying is very, very true because it's like you could work so hard and they only paying you pennies of what your actual
Exactly.
value is. You know what I'm saying?
Your
So when was
job
the
and
last time
your
you actually worked a job?
had
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
um it was I'll answer that. It was February of 2022.
Oh, so February of
February.
last year.
Yep, last year.
Oh,
Last
okay,
year.
dope. I left
Last year is
last
when
year
I
too.
completely left. And so
Dope.
It's crazy. I don't even feel like a good employee no more. Y'all, I was an amazing employee. Now it's like,
Yeah,
but once again, it's just one of those things that the reason why everybody's even at 9 to 5 is because number one, safety. It's safety.
exactly.
When
Exactly.
you have your own business, you can make $0 one day. The next day you can make $10,000. You get what I'm saying? So
Exactly. Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's safety. It's safety, it's safety, it's safety. So I'm very big on making a plan so you are okay. And it's okay, like if you are an entrepreneur and you need something on the side to make sure you're good, it is
Yeah.
completely fine. But just continue to revert back to your why. Why are you doing this? Every job, every business has a process. And
Hmm.
so I feel like what happens is um I realized, I'm saying this. I
Say
realized
it.
I worked harder for the man. When I say man job, I
Yeah.
realized I worked harder for the man than I worked for myself when I first
Oh
started my
man.
business.
Damn. That hurts.
I realized it. I mean, like, shoot, I go hang out with my friends and let's just say at night you got a little too lit, right? If
Yeah.
you got work the next morning, you gonna drink your
You're gonna
Pedialyte,
be there.
your liquid IV, your water, you gonna show up. Why? Because you know you're gonna get fired. Or you're just gonna
Yeah.
get in trouble, okay? Let's say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you have your own business, who gonna fire you?
Hey
Who
man.
gonna tell you gotta wake up if you ain't set an alarm? And also if you don't want to, because you the
Yeah.
boss.
Yeah.
So I had to look at it as like, I think what made me make a change is I had to ask myself, Deprecia, would you fire you? So
That's a good
you
question.
gotta start like your jobs actually teach you how to have a successful business.
Definitely.
That's why I say you gotta have a clock in, clock out, because I didn't have one. I worked when I wanted to, which there's pleasure in that. Don't get me wrong, but that I just always hate when I say that. But I did realize that I was that person that worked harder for the man than myself. And that
Yeah,
makes no sense because who you
it
need to
does.
invest in truly is you.
Exactly. I always tell people like kind of like what you said, use your job. Like when I was
Uh-huh.
working my job, I was like, okay, this is how they do. They award
Right.
people for doing this. I'm looking at the different systems they doing. So now it's definitely important to use that job as leverage. And I just want to say congratulations for,
Thank
not working a
you.
job no more. It's dope
Thank
to
you.
have your own freedom. You know what I'm saying? You can do whatever you want, whenever you want. But I mean, it's not as sweet as it sounds, when you're running your actual business, but it is what it is. So
Mm-hmm.
I want to basically, as we transition, I want to ask you, is there any question that people don't ask you that you'd want to discuss or talk about? You're like,
When it
damn,
comes
I
to the
wish people
business,
asked me XYZ or something. I don't know how many interviews you'd be doing.
are you talking about like you asked me? Like what I
Anything
want
that
you to
any
ask me?
Yeah, just something like, let's say you do a lot of interviews and you're just like, damn, I wish they asked me that. Damn, I wish Michael was gonna ask me about, whatever. Any topic.
Uh-oh. Now you got me thinking really hard. Um, when I talk to people, that's hard because now I feel like I'm about to make a statement.
You gonna make a statement? Go ahead and make the statement. It ain't no template to it. Go ahead, say what you gotta say.
I feel like if I had to say what I wish people asked me is more so, which you kind of did, just kind of like my process, like where I was at and how did I overcome, like even when it comes to my credit and stuff. Because what
Gotcha.
happens is when you're skilled and when you're learning, people tend to forget that you probably were exactly where they were a year ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I feel like sometimes like if I don't get that question, I'm always trying to tell somebody like they're like, you don't want to see my credit, you don't want to see this. You're going to be so disappointed when I'm just
Hmm.
like at the end of the day, like if I have to be transparent with you, like with where I was at, like I started my credit journey in the 600s. Truthfully,
Hmm.
I did not know. I know now, but past tense, I didn't know how I got there. Most of the time, you got a
Hmm.
number and don't know where that number came from. It's just like this is
Yeah.
the number they stamped on me today, right? And
Yeah.
so once I started my credit journey, I was so excited when I hit the 700s. I'm like, oh, 719, I'm there, I'm doing, I'm
Yeah.
building. But then what happened? Life started lifing, you know?
Mm.
I
Yeah.
started making the late payments. I started not paying attention to the plans that I created for myself. and my score went all the way to 5. I think it was 510. That's the lowest score I ever had, ever seen, that I was aware of. And so the positive thing about me is my plan was also my backup plan. So I was able to, call my attorneys, hey, I messed up, repull my credit, let's start this over. Then that's when I started realizing how much everything else was important so I could get back where I once was and go further than that. So a lot of people don't realize, I feel like in businesses where you actually do become skilled in a particular area, if you were them and
Yeah.
come on, grab my hand and walk with me. You gotta walk. I'll grab your hand, but you gotta walk with me. So just
Definitely.
really understanding that, we are humans, understanding that, at least I can speak for myself. Like I'm genuinely really, really trying to help people. But at the end of the day, I only can go, you don't help somebody that's ready to be helped, truthfully.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Let's stick on that credit topic. So how did it make you feel as you were going through that? Like, how'd you feel when you saw the 510? Did you have like anxiety? Was it like you couldn't believe it? Did you think someone stole your identity? Maybe it was someone else's credit. Like, how did you
No,
feel?
it wasn't really the number that made me
Okay.
feel away, because
Yeah.
once that number starts going down, what is it going down for? Remember, I told you what's the reason. You're making late payments, you're not
Yeah.
budgeting. So then you start looking at your money as a whole and how you're living. Do you have extra money on the side to have a nice meal? Do you? And I'm not saying I was doing bad or anything, but you start looking at everything as a whole. But what happened with me, and I didn't say all this, but what happened with me is I was running with my business. I was running with it. My car got stolen.
Oh wow.
My mom and my stepdad was going through a divorce. And at this moment, I was in the midst of transitioning to buy a house. So it was just so much was happening in my life. And even I don't know how transparent you want me to be.
Be as transparent as you got some. You got
So
some of your
in
future
the midst,
clients watching you right now.
so in the midst of this, then I had a friend that got shot up. My friend
Oh
got
man.
shot up. She's still alive, praise God.
Okay, that's
But
good. Yeah,
my
praise God.
friend got shot up.
Yeah.
Truthfully, I didn't think I would care so much about a dog, but we had to put my dog down. This is all happening like in a matter of 2 weeks. Like all
Oh
this, like
wow.
life was just happening. And then as
Yeah.
I was getting out that funk, my uncle passed away and my cousin passed away. So
Oh,
it
I'm
was
sorry to
just
hear that.
like I wasn't I wasn't in a great place. And what happens is I'm very big on wellness as a whole. So
Mhm.
I can't think of all, there's 8 factors of wellness. So it's like financial, physical, all this stuff, right? When
Mhm.
one part of your life is not doing well, everything else just goes down.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, if you're not happy, maybe you just need to do a crunch or push up and exercise. Maybe you just
Go
need
to
to
the
drink
gym.
water,
Yeah,
so you
maybe.
don't have that headache. So a lot of times it all ties together. So what
Yeah.
happened to me when that score was going down, my life was going down too.
Mm.
So it wasn't the number I was looking at. So then I had to really take a step back and really just like, Deprecia, you got to snap back. Of course, I got to feel, I got to heal. But at
Yeah.
the end of the day, life is going to continue to keep going regardless. So what you gonna sit on that couch and gain another 10 pounds? Or you actually gonna get up and do what you need to do to heal yourself? That's reading a book, getting around loved ones. And really, once again, I was very big on already making a plan. I was in my business at the time, so I'm already teaching this stuff, but I was falling back myself. So I had to go back. We mess up. I had to
Yeah.
go back and just go back to the drawing board and be intentional with my goals so I could get back to where I can't say where I once was, past where I was at.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's my line.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's heavy. That's a lot. Did you go through therapy for any of this or just
So
seek guidance from
honestly, I
friends?
love my therapist. I did not go
Okay.
back to her. I did think about it at that moment.
Yeah.
I love therapy. So truthfully, I really wouldn't mind going back to her anyways over anything. But
Yeah.
one thing about it is, was it months before? It was months before that happened. I just ended my therapy. So a
Okay.
lot of things that I learned by having a therapist was things I was able to implement in my life.
Gotcha.
So for those that love therapists, against therapists, I feel like a therapist is there to help you talk through the problems that you have, to help you be able to answer what you need, because you are the only person that know what you need. You're the only person. And there's times you may have a therapy session, talk for a whole hour about something you did not think you cared about, but they're going to tell you, you've been talking about this for the whole hour and our session's over. So you realize it's bothering you. So a lot of things I've learned by having that therapist and journaling, so you can see what's on your mind, then that actually helped me get through a lot. So I definitely say therapy helped, but I did not have therapy at that time.
Gotcha. How often do you journal?
So I have this little journal book. I wish it was around me because I forgot what it was called. It's from Amazon. It was like $5.
Gotcha.
But that journal, I go to it simply, I say about maybe like twice a week. And it has little
Okay.
prompts, but it's a journal to make you like really dig deep within, like what's going on with you, what makes you happy, how was this week, whatever. Then I have another journal. So that journal I look at weekly. And so it's
Gotcha.
kind of personal in business, kind of what hurdles were I going through, what actually pushed my business further. So I'm able to reflect.
Okay, gotcha. So I got a question. What
Uh-huh.
makes you happy?
What makes me happy?
Yeah.
I feel like that's so like broad. I think okay, so what makes me happy is simply really just you just be wanting me to get deep with these questions.
Hey,
But if I
if you ain't got no answer, you ain't got no answer.
but listen, because I feel like a
I'm
lot of
listening.
things make me happy. So like what
Okay.
makes me happy is seeing other people happy,
Okay, dope.
but then of course life is not just them, life is you too. So without them, what makes you happy? I think what genuinely makes me happy is just knowing that, I'm breathing,
That's
I'm
good.
okay. I was given another life to live, because life is going to happen, things are going to happen, and I'm very optimistic. I'm very optimistic. So I just try to just push forward with gratitude and really just understanding and celebrating my small wins, because you can have such big goals and always get upset that you don't reach them. But what makes me happy is just knowing that shoot, the sun's still shining. We going.
Sun is
We
still
got another.
shining. Yeah.
We are going.
Okay. So
So
what's a small win for you this week?
a small win. What day of the week is this? I
Bro,
never know the day of the
we don't work
week.
no job. We been forgetting. No, I'm
I
playing.
know it's
It's
so
Thursday.
bad.
It's
Shoot,
Thursday.
it's Thursday. See, if I knew it was Thursday, I'd be like, oh, that's a small win. I remember the day of the week. So listen, I would say a small win for me is I made ebooks. I
Okay.
made ebooks because at the end of the day, I could spit knowledge like crazy, but there's a lot I want to do with my ebooks as a whole. But I created an ebook, really letting people understanding what divorce does to your credit. When it comes to married couples, kind of where you're at. I made an ebook on how to remove, inquiries. I also made one about like a surge of points, and so my goal is to have more education pieces, things
Yeah.
that people can actually implement and do, because not everybody gonna sign up with you. And regardless, I told you, I don't care if you work with me or not. Play the game. Play the game. You have to do something, or you're gonna just sit there and go nowhere.
Definitely.
And I've been digging really big into. I know a lot about business credit. Like I know a lot about business credit, but I realized you can get a 80 paydex score like within 4 months. I learned there's other things you can do. So I just say really just educating myself, and then getting those ebooks. I'm excited. I'm so excited for
Yeah,
those. So
nice,
that's
nice,
a small
nice.
one.
That sounds like a big one to me. But no, I like the ebooks, and I had a point about it. So as far as the ebooks, I like that. I don't know if it's intentional. You let me know. I like that you did specifically for what divorce does, and then when we talk about credit, like if you get online, you just say, "Oh, I fix people's credit." Nobody cares about that because it's like everybody
Mhm.
fixes credit. The fact that you
Exactly.
focus, yeah, the fact you focus specifically on the education piece about budgeting and things like that. I don't see most credit repair businesses doing that. So I think for anybody watching, they should take notes on the fact that you're niching specifically what you're doing. Like it sounds like you have a good idea about your client avatar. Okay, these people divorces, these people, budgeting, that kind of thing. Is that intentional when you think about who you're serving?
Um, it's hard for me to say it is and it's not. Like
Okay.
at the end of the day, remember I told you I really got big on education for one, just looking at the youth, like looking at the
Oh, true.
youth
Yeah,
and
yeah,
how
yeah, yeah.
really like how much they are. I don't even want to say attacked because the world is a business. The world is a business.
Yeah.
So just educate yourself and just keep on growing and going further. But when it comes to other credit repair businesses, kudos to y'all. I love what you guys are doing out there. But the reason why you really want to educate is so they don't have to come back. On top of not
Yeah.
having to come back is the simple fact that people need the education. People need the education. You at one moment did not understand any of this. I know I didn't at all. And what happens is when it comes to just a normal credit repair, there's so much legalities behind credit repair,
Definitely.
but so many people want fast things. And what I've seen is I do not do this, okay? I'm not against trade lines per se. I'm not against anyone becoming an authorized user, right? But I'm for the long journey. I'm for the journey that's gonna, keep you where you need to be so you can maintain it and attain it,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
somebody may jump on a trade line because they want to hurry up and buy a house real quick or a car real quick, not knowing that trade line's gonna fall off. Or you may want to be an authorized user once again, so you can piggyback to build your credit. But I hope this don't go over no one's head. But there's a new FICO system coming out, and what's going to happen is if
10T?
the banks FICO 10,
The
if
10T
the
you're talking about, right?
if the
Yeah,
banks
yeah, yeah.
have not
Okay.
inherited it, what's going to happen is the ones that have thus far were able to see what your score is without the help. And so really, I'm very big on somebody building something for their own. And I'm not saying all credit repairs do that, but
Yeah,
so many people want fast results that's going to leave just as fast.
exactly. Exactly.
So we gotta build something up. We gotta build something. It's a journey. It's a process. It was a process for me. It was a
Definitely.
process for me, you know.
Definitely.
But the only difference between me and someone else that didn't endure that process is I didn't give up.
Definitely. Yeah, that FICO 10T is true. I've been
Mm-hmm.
screaming about that on the podcast, so they're gonna follow what you're saying as far as
Mm-hmm.
that. So as we wrap up, what's next for Deprecia?
What is next for Deprecia?
Yeah.
So I've been doing a lot of speaking engagements. And so
Okay.
I'm very, at the end of the day, yes, we do credit. Yes, we do budgeting and saving. I really, 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 I don't know how exactly I'm going to do this, but I really want to figure out a system to help the youth as a whole. So, and let me not say not figure it out because I do, like we have a nonprofit. And so we
Hmm.
give out scholarships every single year, and we also help put workbooks in schools. But I really, really, really want to not only focus on the youth when it comes to like elementary age. I want to I can't even talk. I want to focus on the damage control, the retention. The area right before you hit that area where everybody is struggling at. Somebody's there
Yeah.
to save you. I do help. I do mentorship, but what can we do to really mentor the youth as a whole? So what's really next for me is just building out some platform that I
Hmm.
can plug kids in as well. Because of course, like I'm very big on educating. I'm very big on giving value, but I still got to pay my bills. I still got to take care of
Most
myself.
definitely.
So all
Yeah.
my money comes from adults, regardless. Money comes from adults, but at the end of the day, their education is going down. But I want to build something up, build something bigger than what our non-foundation does to be able to help the youth as a whole. So then we're not stuck, because what happens, I'm gonna give this. So in 1950s, I'm actually posting something about this today. 1950s credit came around. About 1989 is when it was even somewhat important, right? So we are the generation to learn it. We are the generation. That's why schools didn't teach us. So don't get mad at what you don't know. Go find out. but
Yeah.
I want to do something for the youth. So if anybody's even hearing this and feel what I'm feeling, let's connect, because I really want to figure out a way to help them even further outside of what I'm doing to help their parents.
Mm-hmm. No, that's huge. That's definitely huge. Prayers up. God will bless you with the guidance and everything, connections to make that happen. So I definitely respect that for sure. That's dope.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, dope, 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 dope. How could the people get in contact with you? How could they find you? Get in contact with you for services, all that.
All right. So once again, I am on all social media platforms. Look up Preview to Wealth, PREVIEWTOWEALTH. Why can I not spell that? But
If
go
y'all
ahead and
listen to
go
my
follow
podcast, you
me.
better be able to spell. No, but go ahead.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. That's what autocorrect is for. But anyways, you can go follow me on all platforms. There's a lot of
Yeah.
education, and you can actually book through me that way. If you want a direct contact real quick, you call me at 405-240-8773. Again, 405-240-8773. And then let's just connect. Let's talk, see where you're at, see what you're facing, or just what your dreams and goals are. Because at the end of the day, you don't have to have terrible credit to work with me. We have a lot of things that we can do to really upgrade your finances and help you organize your finances, protect your family, and really build everything you already have established thus far.
Definitely, definitely. That number is correct, right? They're not gonna
That
call him as
number is correct.
John or something.
405-240-8773. I have another number too, but hit me up on that one.
They're gonna hear Joe pick up as a deep voice.
It's gonna be like, the music videos. Hi, you done called, or ring
Yeah,
ring. What was it, Soldier Boy?
yeah,
You call Soldier
yeah,
Boy.
yeah. But yeah, no, I believe it's the right number. With that being said, y'all have a blessed one.